direct and indirect drivers of forced human mobility with potential to set off or escalate conflict. We have designated a dedicated State Department to deal exclusively with environmental and climate change, and its foremost priority is to support the government in formulating policies and implementing strategies to address the adverse effects of climate change, which frequently leads to forced migration and displacement, and of course, the climate refugee phenomena. I want to say that, as the report rightly indicates, climate change cannot be tackled by one country alone, and therefore a regional approach is an imperative. And as a result of that, I will be hosting between September 4th and September 6th the Africa Climate Action Summit that will bring the continent together so that we can make our contribution as a continent to this very important debate on the existential threat that humanity faces because of climate change. We have taken the position that though we are victims, we have made the least contribution to climate change. Victimhood will not define the position of Africa, because we want to be active players and we want to contribute our ideas in solving this existential threat to humanity. And hopefully we should be able to make our contribution in terms of ideas, because we believe that climate change presents an opportunity to the African continent to be able to leverage the assets that we have, the huge energy resources, geothermal, solar, wind, hydro, huge resources, and our mineral resources, together with our growing market of close to 2.5 billion people by 2050, and also our youth dividend that we can provide the labor for the globe. And that conversation is the conversation we want to have. In fact, we should be least worried about the current migration trends. We know there is a problem of migration to Europe through the Mediterranean. I dare say that's a very temporary problem. Migration will be in the opposite direction shortly. It won't be long. I must take this opportunity to congratulate my brother, elder brother at that, the President of Uganda, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni, for pioneering the landmark Kampala Ministerial Declaration on Migration, Environment and Climate Change, which was signed by 15 states, including Kenya, in July last year. It is my pleasure to reaffirm the government of Kenya's full support to the declaration. As I have said, I will be pleased to host in Kenya the Africa Climate Summit in September this year. This is expected to help Africa solidify its common continental position ahead of the UN General Assembly's Climate Action Summit and COP27, and to secure concrete actions towards a just transition to an African era of clean, green industrialization. I am very clear in my mind that Africa can make a huge contribution to this debate. I also want to say that as a continent, it is our responsibility to deal with the challenges that exist in our region. We are happy as Kenya to participate in stabilizing Eastern DRC with the challenges of conflict in DRC. We are working with our brothers and sisters in Somalia to ensure that even as the drawdown of the troops that is expected by next year, we have a concrete plan on how Somalia is going to move on as a state. And also, many of us are seized with the challenge that we have in Sudan at the moment. And as a region, and as a continent, and as a people, our message to the generals in Sudan is clear and unequivocal. They have no business whatsoever destroying the hard-earned years, many years of developing Sudan. The bombing of buildings, hospitals, and infrastructure is unacceptable. Those generals have no business, they have no reason destroying a country that has been built painstakingly by the people of this continent